The water buffalo, also called the domestic water buffalo or Asian water buffalo, is a large bovid originating in the Indian subcontinent and Southeast Asia. Today, it is also found in Europe, Australia, North America, South America and some African countries. Water buffalo, also called Ani, either of two forms, wild and domestic, of Asian mammal similar to the ox. There are 74 breeds of domestic water buffalo numbering some 165 million animals, but only small numbers of wild water buffalo remain. Both forms are grey to black with off-white socks and one or two white chevrons on the neck. Domestic forms may have more white. Horns in both sexes curve backward in a crescent. The record horn length is just under 2 meters, 6.6 feet, the longest among cattle or any other bovid, although in domestic forms the horns are shorter or even absent. Single offspring are born after a gestation of 10 to 11 months. Longevity of the domesticated water buffalo can be 40 years, but the wild form is not as long-lived, even in captivity. The domesticated water buffalo, Bubalus bubulus, is the living tractor of the East and has been introduced to Europe, Africa, the Americas, Australia, Japan, and Hawaii. There are two types, river and swamp, each considered a subspecies. The river buffalo was present by 2500 BC in India and 1000 BC in Mesopotamia. The breed was selected mainly for its milk, which contains 8% butter fat. Breeds include the Murrah with its curled horns, the Zorate, and the Jafarabadi. Swamp buffalo more closely resemble wild water buffalo and are used as draft animals in rice paddies throughout Southeast Asia. Breeds range from the 900 kg to 2,000 pound Thai and Hazy to the 400 kg Winzu and Carabao. Children ride them to their wallows after their labors and clean their faces and ears. The wild water buffalo is sometimes referred to as a different species, B. Ani. It can interbreed with domestic water buffalo. This wild form is a huge animal, nearly 3 meters, 10 feet, long and 2 meters tall and weighing up to 1,200 kilograms, 2,600 pounds. Females are about 2/3 this size. The hooves are large and splayed, and two flexible joints, phalanx and pastern, near the hooves allow for easier walking through deep mud. Wild water buffalo live in Southeast Asian swamps and forests, where they feed on grass and sedges, mostly at night. By day they rest in water up to their nostrils, or they wallow and shovel mud onto themselves with their horns to keep cool and escape biting insects. 5 to 8 closely related cows and offspring live together, perhaps with a bull, while young males live in bachelor groups. Feral herds number up to 30 animals. Their sense of smell is very acute, and if a predator is detected, the group will advance together, with horns lowered. A few dozen herds possibly persist from east-central India to Thailand, but these will likely be lost as they interbreed with feral domestic forms. Buffalo plays a pivotal role in the agricultural economy of many Asian, European, African, and Latin American countries. Among farm livestock, buffalo is being increasingly recognized as an animal for milk, meat, and draft. Despite its significant contribution as a multi-purpose animal, this species has received little of the care and attention which it rightly deserves. A major bottleneck in the enhancement in production potential of buffaloes has been inadequate research and paucity of information. It is often falsely presumed that the scientific information generated on cattle can be extrapolated to buffaloes. The water buffalo, or Asian buffalo, as it is often called, is the largest members of the bovine tribe, which includes yak, bison, African buffalo, various species of wild cattle, and others. Size and appearance standing 5 to 6.2 feet tall at the shoulder, wild water buffalo are formidable mammals with sparse gray-black coats. Males carry enormous backward curving, crescent-shaped horns stretching close to 5 feet long with deep ridges on their surface. Females are smaller in size and weight, but they also have horns, although they are proportionately smaller. Muddy adaptations. Water buffalo spend much of their day submerged in the muddy waters of Asia's tropical and subtropical forests. Their wide displayed hoofed feet prevent them from sinking too deeply in the mud and allow them to move about in wetlands and swamps. These marshes provide good cover and rich aquatic plants to forage on, although water buffalo actually prefer to feed in grasslands on grass and herbs. Reproduction: females normally produce calves every other year, after a gestation of 9 to 11 months. Young bulls typically remain with maternal herds, which consist of around 30 buffalo, for 3 years after birth. They then go on to form small all-male herds. Domestication: water buffalo have been domesticated for more than 5,000 years. They have buttressed humanity's survival with their meat, horns, hides, milk, butterfat, and power, plowing and transporting people and crops. Wild water buffalo are at risk and live only in a small number of protected areas stretching across India, Nepal, and Bhutan, and a wildlife reserve in Thailand. And populations are likely to diminish as they are interbred with domesticated water buffalo.